Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast, part of the second summer of Blake 7, talking about Season B, or Series 2 as it's known to the uninitiated, of Blake 7. We've reached Episode 7, Killer. Now, Killer could usually be used to describe someone like Travis, or Sir Villan, or even Blake, or, you could have one of those things where people talk about themselves. No, it's literal. This is about a virus that infects people. Now, when you see Robert Holmes's name on things, and let's face it, his name's on the front, you go, oh, this could be good. And yes, it could be good. You've got your dual storyline. You've got your storyline where Avon and Vila are trying to break into, well, basically an atomic power station somewhere on the south coast that seems to be surrounded by buttercups and exhaust pipes. And they walk around with their curling tongs that they put in their little holsters and do a bit of investigating. And while they're doing the investigating, they have their chat. And of course, Villa's like, oh, it's the doors, I can open locks and all that business. Standard Blake 7, God forgive me for using this word, memes. Stuff that makes you feel like you're... Now, of course I'm going to have to talk about this story, but what I am going to talk about, apart from the fact that the man who loves, grasshoppers, what's all that about? No, it's the costumes that they're wearing. Those big floppy duvets with the hole cut in the top for your head. Slankets. Yes, the future is full of slankets. Industrial strength, really thick, rubbery slankets for those pervs amongst us who like to be warm and comfy. Big collars will always work in sci-fi, if not real life. So your A-plot is got Vila and Avon trying to steal a bit of a deciphery decodey thing that allows you to intercept Federation messages. If only they didn't have a computer that could already do that in the shape of Aurak. Again, it's something that you just kind of have to accept and move on from. So let's forget the fact that Aurak exists. So they're breaking in and they're going to try and steal this thing. That's fine. Your other storyline is your more mystical or mind episode thing. The business of the spaceship that's drifted through space and has a virus on board that will kill people and turn them into killer zombies. Well, alright, not zombies, just killers, and then die and poison the whole human race and that kind of thing. Yes, there are psychic links with alien races, and yes, there are creatures come to life and throw themselves around and all that kind of nonsense. But as so often happens with Blake 7, what you've got is you're sitting there watching it going, I wonder what happens in the other storyline. And then you're watching the other storyline, you're going, oh, I wonder what's happening in the original storyline. And yes, large sections of this have been shot on 16mm, which gives it that lovely film feeling, but it's not important and it's not needed. Yes, they're in a space lift, but you know what? They're in a lift, in a factory somewhere. Bits of corrugated iron stuck to the wall just to give them impressions. Flash a light at someone and get someone to bend at the knees and you can have a massive lift travelling all the way over a complex. But that's, again, not important. Is it a good story? It's not bad. There's tremendously well-crafted moments. There's some lovely characterisation. And there is some, for Blake 7, brilliant bickering. Yes, the count's off completely now for 7s, but who cares about that? The Liberator still looks brilliant and Aurak's still great. There's not a lot for people to do, but at least Callie gets to do something and sense things like she does so well. Yes, the characterizations in Big Finish's version of Blake 7 are off the scale in comparison to stuff like this, but you know what? It's pretty good. And one thing that I do like, and I always will, is the model work. That drifting early space probe craft thing, well, compare this with the model used with that Time Squad episode. It's not even in the same league. This is something so much better. It's got Matt Irvine's fingerprints all over it. So Avon goes to visit his mate and they end up coming up with some sort of shenanigans. But you know what? They could have just nicked it anyway because everyone dies of the plague. It's just such a shame that they can't just attach transporter bracelets to things and beam the whole unit out. But that again, that's just a plot point. Not important. So I'll leave this chat this time and move on and return very soon, probably talking about more Blake 7. I would think so. So until then, be seeing you. On the 3rd of September 2016, Hooverville 8 will be with us. Possibly the friendliest convention in the whole of the UK. This year's guests include, but are not limited to, Kai Owen from Torchwood, Michael Jason from Doctor Who, the Valiard himself, Katie Manning, Joe Grant, Eric Sayward, Sophie Aldred, good old Ace, and Matthew Dale. For more information and to book your ticket, visit the Derby Quad website, www.derbyquad.co.uk, derbyquad.co.uk. That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.